any field is the art. Anytime we can make that judgment, we say, ah, the man who can make that kind of a judgment possesses the art. Now we have some fun. Here's where we go. And this is, we reach this one point. We'll use everything we've developed up to this point to explore this one question. Can philosophy be an art? What would follow? Here we go. Everything we've said we can now use. Uh-oh, not that. Not that. Here we are. If the philosopher can be said to have an art, go ahead, then there should be some particular benefit he can bestow upon the student. Would you not agree, going back over what we did? Follow it with me. He should be able to guide, care, protect. It presupposes he has a knowledge of what? Not sheep, he's not a shepherd. Not the terrain.
Wisdom, I guess.
Pardon me? Louder, please.
Wisdom.
He should have a knowledge
That's
of...
what he's studying, or that's what he's representing.
Okay. Whatever you're going to do, it must follow the analogy, because all we're doing is functioning through an analogy, are we not?
Could we eliminate student out of there and just put like object, and so to leave the question open, because we know that a doctor serves a patient. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure that a philosopher serves a student.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can leave it open, follow an object, benefits the object.
Perfectly good idea. You can do that. All right.
Okay.
Would you agree now? Notice what we're doing. We're trying to find out what term fits into this. All right. So, would you agree a shepherd is a shepherd only because he has a certain knowledge and derives his title from nothing else other than the fact that he has that knowledge and can function with his knowledge in that way for the benefit of his sheep? Therefore, whoever gets that title, if the analogy holds, there must be some knowledge. It allows a certain functioning that will then bring about a benefit. Now, among the ways in which men can be said to benefit, let's see if we can now play on 4 levels. Here we go. Here is our poor man. Remember? Oh, suffering. Would you agree at this point he needs the art of medicine? And if successful, his condition then is arrested and perhaps eliminated, but then he goes through the physician's art of medicine to a state of neutrality. That is, he reaches non-illness. Remember when we said that? Remember what we said? We said now we want to see whether there's an additional art that's necessary to bring him to full healthiness. Not just to rid himself of the disease and injuries that afflicted him. Would he then need the services of someone like a gymnast who can then would you agree he only works with people who have reached this level? Would you agree he would never work with anyone who's ill, injured, and therefore he first wants to make sure that that condition has been reached before he then can take our subject and bring him along. But look here. Suppose our very fine and noble gymnast were now to bring the person into more excellent health, and he looks very good. Might it not be possible that he might say, but sir, you still have certain kinds of problems, emotional problems, it's necessary to send you to someone who can handle that. Would you agree then, this is the side of the body. Is there equally a side of the soul or mind? Now some people object to the use of the word soul, but I want to use it in a very strict way. All right, the strict way in which I'm going to use this word soul tonight means four things. All right? What is it within you? What is it within you that brought you here? Let me ask it another way. Would you agree you couldn't have gotten here if you didn't have a plan? Would you agree you couldn't get here even if you had a plan unless you could command yourself to do it? Would you agree that even if you had a plan and command yourself to do it, you wouldn't do it unless you thought you had sufficient care for yourself to do it? When these three things are together, we can then act. But wait a minute, what is it within you that does that? For the Greek, that's the word psyche, soul. And this thing then allows a functioning, and therefore it allows a certain kind of life to emerge, a way of life. Now, is it likely that there are times when mankind is in conflict with himself and he can't do these things? That he's not in harmony with himself, and therefore he needs something else. He needs help. Let's see this idea now of help. Would you agree that none of these things we've been speaking of would come into existence if it were not for one fundamental fact? Take first medicine. That man is not a self-repairing mechanism. He's not a self-repairing mechanism. Left to the wilds, left to nature, he's not going to survive. We are not self-repairing. Therefore, we are in need of the, what are we going to call them? The arts, to bring about a certain kind of excellence. So therefore, if a person is in conflict with themselves, would you not agree in our society we might assign that person to a psychologist or a psychotherapist? Right? Someone who can then help with that kind of a disorder. Would you agree now, does that person then, when they're then treated using the same model, when they discharge them, have they reached the full excellence of their soul? Or have they just gotten rid of whatever conflict they have? Therefore, they reach non-illness as well. Now, wait a minute. Is there a fourth?
When I studied psychology at university, they only studied sick people and they never studied healthy people.
That's right. That's right. That's because of this reason. No, that's because of this reason.
And also they didn't
Because,
soul.
that's right, you see, it fits this model. It's a therapy. It's a treatment. It follows this model. That's right.
Of course.
So therefore, we're asking, hey, is there something like gymnastics for the soul, for what gymnastic does to the body, which brings about its own inner excellence? That's the issue, see? That's where we're going. Is there a fourth? 1, 2, 3. Is there a fourth? All right. Now we can do a little more. All right. Now we can push it another step. If philosophy can be said to be an art, what should it be able to do if it fulfills the condition of the fourth missing member? Let's try it. All right? Because we don't even have to argue about what word to use. If there is something that can fulfill that, it must be an art. It must seek the benefit of the subject. It must bring about a certain kind of excellence of the soul.
So, some sense, it must, I mean,